I got into an altercation with my Neo on spring break because she was sneaking around with my boyfriend. Welcome back to episode 4, part 2 of my Howard University lore / why the fuck did I date that Howard man? And remember, during this series, you can use the code #lore for 50% off my entire site, including my eye mask and my vanity bags. So boom, in the last episode, Twitter Fingers has invited me to come with him to spring break in Miami because he wants to prove that he's no longer a serial cheater, which he still was. And as soon as we get to Miami, he goes to jail. Once he's out of jail, I'm in the house with him and some of his bros, and one of his line brothers' girlfriend and Becky comes in. Becky was not trying to leave, even though everyone wanted her to. And because of this, Twitter Fingers gets up and tries to make her leave. And when he closes the door in her face, y'all know what she started screaming. Now, y'all remember, I hadn't said anything this whole time because I was trying to let the boys handle it. But as soon as she said my name, I was ready to go. So boom, y'all, remember I told y'all we had just came back from South Beach. So when all of this is happening and when I'm in the living room, I currently have on a swimsuit. So once she was out the door and got to screaming my name, I go to the room, grab a t-shirt, and I'm headed to the door. Now, as soon as I start walking up to the door, all his bros like, come on, Maya, no, come on, we're not doing that, you know, XYZ. Don't nobody want me to go outside. Now, y'all, I cannot remember the exact timing of this, but somewhere in the midst of all of this, some of her line sisters start pulling up. And a part of the line sisters that are pulling up is Clarissa, Twitter Fingers' ex-girlfriend from freshman year. Now, I can't remember exactly because, y'all, when I get mad, honestly, I get the blacking. So I don't even really remember all of the details. But I feel like his bros were talking to her line sisters and they're telling them, like, okay, y'all need to get her to leave, like, get her in an Uber, you know, XYZ. Now, if you done picked up anything from these story times, you know that I am not about to let this girl leave without me putting up a fight to try to get out there. So boom, I'm trying to get everybody to move, get out the way. Let me get outside. I ain't even really doing too much talking. Like, I'm about to just go outside and give her what she asking for. Y'all, at some point, I think some of his line brothers had got tired of trying to stop me from going to the door. So I get to the door and the person who's in front of the door is Clarissa. Now, y'all, up until this point, remember, me and Clarissa have not had any issues. I never, got in the way of her getting online. I kind of just stayed out of her way altogether. I didn't want no, overlapping drama. And you would think that she would also be looking at Becky weird because, this might not be her boyfriend anymore, but like, girl, this used to be your boyfriend, so this not weird to you? But regardless of the fact, I get to the door, I'm about to walk out the door. Clarissa, I want to say she puts her hand on my chest or like kind of whatever she does, she tries to stop me from going out the door, y'all. Now, I can't remember if I pushed her or if I just slapped her hand, but whatever I did, I say, don't touch me. Now I look around, I'm like, I'll beat everybody ass. Y'all, I'm hot. Because, again, I'm like, y'all can get out the way. Like, I'm not worried about y'all. Like, move. Again, y'all, I'm like, girl, why are you trying to save her anyway? She's effing on your ex-boyfriend. But, y'all, honestly, I later found out that even Clarissa was effing on her ex-boyfriend, Twitter Fingers. So, he clearly was community. So, boom, y'all. By this point, they done got her in the lift. She's gone. She's not outside anymore. So I'm going off on Twitter Fingers. Y'all know me. Like, when I'm ready to get to that, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be talked out of it. So I'm going off on him. Like, why you trying to save her? No, she want to be talking all that shit. Like, let her come get what she want. So as I'm going off on Twitter Fingers, he like, no, Maya, you don't need to fight. Like, you don't need to be doing that. And I'm like, who is you to tell me I don't need to fight? You got her out there talking all this crazy stuff about me. She popping it at the mouth. Like, yeah, she need that. So, y'all, you know what he do? He like, all right, if you really want to fight her, I'm gonna call one of her lines to tell them to bring her back. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. That's amazing. Call her up on the phone. Now, y'all, not only was she outside screaming, Maya's just mad I after her boyfriend, she also was out there like, she's fat. She's just mad. Her man want me. She's talking cash per usual. So, boom. He calls her up on the phone, y'all, And he's like, you talking all that shit about Maya, you calling her fat, and you saying this, and that, come back so you get your ass beat. Now, y'all, remember, what's so crazy about this is later on, I found out he was still dealing with her, and he done called this girl up on the phone for me to fight her. Of course, she screams in the phone, and she hangs up. Then he calls another one of her line sisters like, nah, bring her back. She talking all that shit about Maya. She about to get her ass beat. Y'all, this is so stupid. Like, this is crazy toxic. Everybody hanging up on him. They mad. So, boom. They don't ever bring the girl back. And eventually, one of my line sisters called me. Becky done called her crying, talking about Maya trying to fight me and she trying to be a bully and all this other stuff. Again, playing victim and trying to get ahead of the story. I'm not going to even really get into that too much because when she calls me, I'm already so mad. I just go off because I'm like, girl, do you really believe this girl? Like, the fuck? So boom, y'all, I don't ever get to get my hands on Becky. And you know me, once some time pass, I'm just letting stuff rock. On top of that, I'm so mad at Twitter Fingers about all of this happening. So to make up for it, he tells me he's going to take me to Bali for my birthday, which he does. Don't judge me, y'all. Now, maybe like a year or two later, this might have even been in 2021, we're at Park in DC, me and some of my line sisters. And some of Becky and her line sisters pull up. And of course, these are our neos, so they all come into the section that we in. Now, Park was getting ready to end, and we was about to go to the next spot. And the place that we was going, I knew the promoter. Now, Kennedy is with me, remember, my old roommate. And I hear Becky ask Kennedy, can I come with y'all to the next spot? Kennedy said, you gonna have to ask Maya. Do y'all know what this girl did? She really sits her foolish ass right beside me, and she's like, Maya, can I come with y'all to the next spot? I look at her, I'm like, girl, hell no. She's like, you still mad and you need to get over there. I'm like, girl, I don't even deal with him no more, but you'll never get to go nowhere with me. Now she get to talking. I feel like she was trying to honestly go back and forth with me about this situation. I'm like, girl, honestly, if you keep talking, I'm gonna have to beat that ass. She gets up. So boom, y'all, fast forward, I moved to Atlanta in 2022. Me and Twitter Fingers are done, and I am in a new relationship with a girl who also went to Howard but is a bit older, and she and I are dating for like a year and a half. Now, in the midst of this, there is another altercation that involves Twitter Fingers, but like, if y'all want a story time about that, look, that's a story for another day. You gotta ask for that one in the comments. But boom, when she and I break up in like 2023, and it's right before my birthday in September, Twitter Finger comes back around. Now, y'all, at this point, me and him have probably been broken up for about 2.5 years. He's in Atlanta as well, and he's trying to make it seem like he done grew up. He's grown now. He on some new shit. Like, he wants to try again. So to prove to me that he is different and new, y'all, same old shit, different day, he tells me that he's going to take me on a trip to Europe. And the trip to Europe is going amazing. We go to 3 different countries, and I am having a blast until we get to the last country, which is Barcelona, Spain. And that blast turns into a blast from the past. And while we're in Spain, I get into an altercation with one of the old girls. Remember? Light-skinned friend from episode 2? Yeah. She and I get into an altercation in Spain. Come back for episode 5, the final episode. And we are going to call that episode The Blast from the Past.